part 3 of my series. This one's called Steve, We're Still Here. Stick around and listen. It's going to be cool. Hello everybody, Gary Stuckey here. Welcome back to another episode of Steve Perry News. This is my third installment and final installment of this video of the series of videos I've been doing. The other one's talking about Anyway, talking about Noah Racing, and now we're talking about We're Still Here. That's right, we're still here, Steve Perry. You know, that song is, about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it ties into what I just mentioned in my other video. The other song by Steve and Journey, Still They Ride. It's very comparable. They even take place in the same places. Even the wording in both songs, will they remember your name, it says, and we're still here. In Still They Ride, it says, now nobody knows his name. Nobody knows your name. I guess when you go away for a while, you come back into town, and that's what Steve is talking about. He's thinking about his old days of driving around in California and small town life and just being free, But then when he joined the band, he got on this merry-go-round, this circus life that was hard to get out of. Even though he enjoyed it, he was always torn, always running. And you can tell that by his lyrics. He's always trying to escape, right? Until finally he had enough in 1987. And even when he hurt his hip, he still was just not comfortable about going on tour. He hasn't been since the For the Love of Strange Medicine tour. I just think that he is not big on that circus life, Not to say he won't ever join Journey for just a little reunion farewell, but that's what it was, even in his interview with Dan Rather, which I love. Go check it out if you haven't already seen it. He was so excited about explaining that song, We're Still Here. It was very informative interview and really told us a lot about his life. And I think that's why he wanted to share We're Still Here with people, because he wanted all us fans to see it. I think he wanted Journey to see it. He said that music takes us to a place that we might have forgotten about. And he said, it's like listening to a song, you can hear a song and you'll remember your old boyfriend or girlfriend, a place that you used to go to, even though those days are gone. It takes you to that place. And then after the song is over, you can go back to reality. If it's an old girlfriend, you could wake up and remember, hey, you don't like her, and you could be mad. But he said for that moment, it takes you back to that place, just like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And we're still here, the fans were still here, and the band was still here. And he's looking out at the fans so happy, and even just for a moment, those guys were there because they had recorded all those songs that were awesome, and what an honor. So they were there for that moment, for the music. Then they could go back, as he hinted around, to fighting or whatever, But they enjoyed that moment together. And of course, the song, We're Still Here, comparable to Still They Ride. Steve is Jesse, as I've said in the other video. And, he's thinking about the old days riding around. He's thinking about his time going by. And in the song We're Still Here, he tells Dan Rather, you have both of the things within you, the night is calling, the love is running. He said both of those things are within you. And what I've come to learn is, by studying the metaphors and the lyrics of Steve, that the night is his time in the band and singing on stage. The nighttime, when you're a teenager, you're going out on the night on the town, it's what you were doing, it's what you were getting into. It's what you longed for, the whole weekend. That's what you wanted to do, right? And that's what he longed for, being on stage and singing for those fans. And the love that's running is the love and desire that he has for the music, and the fans' desire, and Journey's desire for him to keep singing, Neil Sean's desire, and he's torn. And there was actually a part in the interview where he was torn, and he just paused and looked down, when he said that once again is in all of us. That once again, that's the night and the love running. Once again, when you think about being on stage, once again, with the good and the bad times, as he's talked about in interviews, as I've told you about, you're torn. You love the past, the good stuff. And when you hear a song, you think about all those memories, but then the reality sets in and you're like, oh, okay. And you go back to that. But he was so torn because he knew of all the hurts, he knew of all the things that they had been through. But it took him back to that now, that now feeling of Journey when he was on that stage. He reflected on that moment with Dan Rather. And so he paused and looked sad, So what does once again mean for Steve? Once again, to get back with Journey once again, to be with those guys once again, even for a moment. On that stage was a moment, but to be in the band as the singer would be a hard thing. You'd have to get back on the merry-go-round, and he doesn't want to do that for a long haul. So I do think if he was to get back with the guys, it'd be for a final hurrah, as Neil was hoping. And, I believe that would happen. But he said, he just wanted fans to hear the song, and that he wanted them to feel it and make them happy. That's what makes him happy, is for the fans to relate and to hear, the songs to make them feel better. And I'm sure he wanted Journey to hear that too, So there you go. Steve, I believe, is torn. He doesn't want to get on that merry-go-round, but he sure misses singing. He thinks about singing, anytime he thinks about it, he closes his eyes and he reminisces, and it's so hard. And as many fans wants it to happen, some say it's never going to happen, but I do believe he is torn. But with the, with the doubt, there's always hope, right? And of course, this morning, on the road trip, the Rock and Roll Road Trip, Sammy Hagar and Neal Schon from 2 years ago, there was an interview with Sammy and Neil. He asked Neil, do you think Steve will ever join Journey again? He said, I don't know. He said, maybe not Journey. He don't know, but maybe he says they probably will work together again. And he mentions a guy named Narada. Who's that guy? He said maybe he can get him and Steve together. He knows that they can make something really good, he said. So Narada, Michael Walden, just joined Journey along with another guy, Randy Jackson, Steve's friend and former bandmate. Something's going on there, and I do believe Neil is behind it, and he's trying to get that one last hurrah for Steve. You can believe what you want, I just call it like I see him. It's all there. Steve is his own person. He can do what he wants to do, but I do believe he is torn. He misses the old days, and I do believe there's a fire burning. And brother to brother, they're still there, and I think something will happen one day. We'll just got to wait and see. But until then, I will enjoy Steve Perry's solo work, and I will enjoy Journey's music. And until next time, everybody, whatever you do, don't stop believing. This is Gary Stuckey. God bless you.